Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 11th biology students, and this is meant for 28th July 2020. And today in this session we are entering into another new chapter number 10, and this is called cell cycle and cell division. You may recollect that because of this COVID-19 there is a change in the weightage of the marks for each unit as well as chapter, and this chapter belongs to the unit called cell structure and functions. Unit number 3, cell structure and functions, and this is meant for 15 marks. This unit has got a weightage of 15 marks, and in this unit there are 3 chapters. Chapter 1, cell, the unit of life, which we have finished, and second chapter, biomolecules, recently we finished. And now in this session today we are going to introduce ourselves to cell cycle and cell division. So on an average, since 3 chapters have got 15 marks, we can presume that each chapter on an average will have 5 marks weightage. So keeping that in mind, we understand that since the cellular division basically involves division of cells, separation of cells, meaning that the cellular division is very, very significant in making growth and development of the organisms. So cellular division is directly responsible for growth of the organism. 1 cell becoming 2, 2 becoming 4, 4 becoming 8, like that. So the division of cells will lead to formation of tissues, and tissues will lead to formation of organs. Organs will lead to formation of organisms, and the entire organisms will have lot of organ divisions, or we say systems, like digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, etc. So basically, to happen for all this, cellular division is a must. And in this, basically, cell divides in 2 ways. One, it undergoes division and forms similar type of cells without any disturbance. Everything will be same in the daughter cells as it is present in the parental cell. Then we say such division is equal division or mitosis. So mitosis is directly responsible for formation of tissues. So it adds cells to the existing cells, number 1. Second, if there is any damage to the cells, repair of damage can take place through this. Third, whenever cells get damaged fully and they shed off from that particular region, because of mitosis, replacement of cells will take place. And we must be very, very thankful to this division, because we keep on having what we call youthfulness. So young cells will always replace the old cells. So thanks to mitosis. And the second one is, unlike mitosis, it is called meiosis, where the daughter cells will have 50% of the chromosomes to that of parental cell. Let's say a parental cell has got 46 chromosomes. So the daughter cell will have 23 chromosomes. So 50% reduction will be there. So you may wonder why this reduction. This reduction is because of to maintain chromosomal number. Like the testicular cells will have 46 chromosomes. They undergo meiosis and form 23 chromosomes in sperms, male gamete, we say. Similarly, in females, ovarian cells will undergo meiosis, having 46 chromosomes, form 23 chromosomes in ovum. So ovum is a female gamete. So male gamete sperm 23, female gamete ovum 23, 23 plus 23, 46 chromosomes, that becomes a human being. So identity will be maintained by meiosis. Sexual reproduction will have the fructification because of meiosis. So basically, cell divides in two ways, and in that we must understand all this happens in developed cells, eukaryotic cells. What about in prokaryotic cells? Let us see. So all cells are derived from pre-existing cells. So there must be one cell to start off. From that cell, everything happens. So new cells are produced for growth and to replace damaged or old cells, as I said. And it differs in prokaryotes. Pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. There is no nucleus in these organisms like bacteria. There is something that looks like a nucleus. We say nucleoid. So the nucleoid will not have any membrane, but it has DNA or RNA. Nucleic acids will be there. Whereas in eukaryotes, like our own example, protists, fungi, plants, wherein the nucleus is very clear and the nuclear membrane is very prominent, and inside that nucleus, nucleic acids will be there, DNA, RNA. That's how we differentiate prokaryotes with the eukaryotes. And inside the nucleus, what does it have? It has got a ladder-like, we said, a twisted ladder, double helix model of Watson and Crick. So the instructions for making cell parts are encoded. There is a code language, and through that code language, the DNA will be giving orders for the cells to divide. So each new cell must get a complete set of DNA molecules. Every new cell should have a DNA. For this to happen, for decoding of the code, there must be DNA replication. DNA should split. So you can see in the diagram, original DNA strand with a double helix structure, and when DNA replicates, it is forming the new strands, two new identical DNA strands, so that the genome, the totality of the genes compared to parental cell will be similar in daughter cells, so that identity is maintained. Skin cells will form skin cells only. Muscle cells will form muscle cells only. Neurons will form, undergoing mitosis, neurons only. And that is because thanks to identical DNA strands. If the DNA strands are not identical, the skin cells may form muscle cells may form neurons, neurons may form another cells. So there would have been chaos in our body thanks to having this identical DNA strands. So DNA must be copied or replicated before cell division. So these are all preparations for the cell before it undergoes cell division. So we call all these various phases that a cell undergoes, that a nucleus undergoes, as interphase. So before any cell undergoes division, it prepares itself for the division. It becomes matured. What do you mean by maturity? Whatever we are talking now will undergo, and all these stages come under one phase that's called interphase. Each new cell will then have an identical copy of the DNA. Now you can see here mitosis. The parental cell undergoing mitosis, forming two identical daughter cells. How is that these two cells are identical? Thanks to identical DNA. That's the reason why they are exact, I can say, Xerox copies, blueprints of the parental cell. And then what about chromosomes? Inside the nucleus, there are thread-like structures. These are called chromosomes, as all of you know. And you know, in our body, every cell has got 46 chromosomes. And those 46 chromosomes will be present in the form of 23 pairs. And a pair of chromosome is represented with N. So we say 23N. So N is equal to 2 sets. One set is equal to 23. 23 into 2 is equal to 46. So we say 2N. N is equal to 23. So we always write N is equal to haploid. Haploid. Haploid means one set of chromosomes. And when it becomes 23 into 2, we say 2N diploid, 2n, n plus n is there, 23 plus 23. And let's see here, in prokaryotes, as I said, they don't have a well-developed nucleus. It looks like a nucleus, we say nucleoid, and you can see there the bacterial chromosome, and this is how the chromosome will be there. You must have noticed the difference between the chromosome of the eukaryotes and the chromosome of the prokaryotes. So the DNA of prokaryotes is one circular chromosome, we say plasmid. So circular chromosome is called plasmid, and this is present outside the nucleus. So we say extra nucleus circular chromosome. Extranuclear circular chromosome is plasmid. It is attached to the inside of the cell membrane. In eukaryotes, on the other hand, you can see here the chromosomes. All eukaryotic cells store genetic information in chromosomes. Most eukaryotes have 10 to 50 chromosomes in their body cells. And as I said, in our own body, chromosomes like this will be 46, that is 2n. Now here you must be careful. In your UPSC ND exam or NEET exam, they will ask you the number of chromosomes or number of pairs of chromosomes. You must read question carefully. Is the question asking number of chromosomes or pair of chromosomes? So if it is number of chromosomes, you must answer 46. If it is pairs, you must answer 23 pairs. And then in eukaryotic chromosomes, there is a coiled DNA. Just now we said each chromosome is composed of a single tightly coiled DNA molecule. As you are saying, chromosomes cannot be seen when cells are not dividing and are called chromatin. There is a network of chromosomes. That network of chromosome is called chromatin or chromatin reticulum. And the entire DNA will be restricted within the chromosomes. So you can see here the DNA, and inside the DNA the packing material is there, protein molecules, histone H1, that yellow color one, and then you can see 8 histone molecules, we say octet structure. So octet histone molecules are like something like basketball. So you got a histone H1 and octane histone molecules. These are surrounded by DNA. So DNA is tightly coiled around proteins called histones. So again, what are histones? Then chromosomes in a dividing cell. How do they? When the cell is dividing, this is how the chromosomes appear. As I said, 2 thread-like structures are there, right from top to bottom running across. This is one chromatid and another one. So 2 chromatids are there in a chromosome. And there is a short arm and a long arm. And both the arms are connected with each other with a round bead, Rudraksha, round bead. That round bead is called centromere. So there is a centromere in the center, and the centromere is joining 2 thread-like structures called chromatid. And inside this chromatids, DNA will be there. So this is sister chromatids, we say. And in our own case, as I said, you can see here 46 chromosomes are arranged in the form of 23 pairs. And I want you to focus on last pair, 23rd pair, where you got the chromosomes called sex chromosomes. Where they called sex chromosomes are allosomes. They decide the sex of the person. If there is XX, how do you know that there is XX? X chromosome is very, very long, like the other 22 pairs which are called autosomes or body chromosomes. They are called body chromosomes because they decide the properties of the bodily characters. Whereas the last pair, 23rd pair, decides the sex of the baby. So if there is XX, 2 chromosomes are equal in length, then it is a female baby. It's going to become female. On the other hand, one chromosome is very long and one is short. Let us see here, one chromosome, X chromosome, look here, very tall, and Y chromosome very short. So if you see in the zygote a setup like this, X chromosome and Y chromosome, then this zygote is going to become a male baby. So the presence or absence of Y chromosome will decide whether a person is going to be male or female. If Y chromosome is present, the person is going to be male. If Y chromosome is absent, the person is going to become female. So Y chromosome decisively decides sex of the person. And as we said, cell reproduction will have a lot of types. Like asexual reproduction involves a single cell dividing to make two new identical daughter cells. In our junior classes, we call it as binary fission. Fission means body dividing, binary means two. So most of the primitive organisms will undergo binary fission like amoeba, paramecium, hydra. And sexual reproduction involves two cells, just now we said gametes, ovum plus sperm, meeting together form new cell called zygote, and this may not form the identical ones. So in prokaryotes, this is how the cell divides. You can see it is not only the nucleus that is dividing, there is a cytokinesis. So there is karyokinesis and cytokinesis. So you can see further the parental cell, number one. Number two, chromosomes are replicating, they are dividing, and as the chromosomes nucleate material is dividing, cell also is splitting, division. This cell division we call it as cytokinesis. So karyokinesis is karyon means nucleus, division. Kinesis is equal to division. So karyokinesis is nuclear division. Cytokinesis, cyto means cell and kinesis means division, cell division. So always in a cell division, karyokinesis takes place first, followed by cytokinesis. That results in the formation of two identical daughter cells. This is how in prokaryotes the binary fission takes place and helps the prokaryotes to form identical cells. And in our next session, we will discuss about the actual cell cycle, what are the various stages that take place. We will talk about the interphase, subphase of that, and then mitosis. Until then, draw diagrams. Always practice diagrams. Being biology boy, you must practice diagrams. And after drawing the beautiful diagrams, label it. While labeling, first